What's up guys, it's Dono. I got a question basically asking for different styles of rap. So I'm gonna cover a couple different ways that you can get into rap and styles you can use. Now, this might be a little bit different than what you're thinking because there's all sorts of subgenres, but I'm gonna look at it a little bit more from the perspective of different idea blocks that you can use to start writing lyrics, and then you can style it up from there. I just want to be clear that I'm talking about kind of topics or general areas, not necessarily subgenres, which have a lot to do with the style of instrumental and the style of delivery that you put together, because I think based on this question, it's going to be a little bit more helpful to use these blocks. All right, so the very first most common style of rap that you're gonna hear most of the time is braggadocio. Braggadocio is the style of kind of self-hype, self-aggrandizement, right? This whole like, I'm the best in the business, everyone else is a witness type of stuff, like bars like that you really just amp yourself up and talk about how great you are. Now this is what people stereotypically think about when they think about rap. It's one style that you can approach, but don't feel like it's something you have to do, because a lot of beginning rappers think that they have to start with braggadocio because that's what their stereotype is. You don't have to do that. There are other styles of rap, which I will bring up a couple for you. The next style of rap that you can use is storytelling. Now, this should seem pretty straightforward. It's just where you tell a story. Now, the thing that you really need to focus on if you're going to be doing storytelling is making sure that your details line up. Rap is very specific when you put a story over a song, in the sense that you only have as much space as is in the instrumental, unless of course you want to edit the instrumental, but then maybe your song is too long. So if you want to really write a normal song with a story in it, you have to focus on how many bars you have, pay attention to your story arc. That way it will make more sense. A lot of times what people starting out in this style do is they'll just start writing, and then all of a sudden they're out of space to continue talking about their topic. However, this is a really great style for people who want to get in touch with some of their stories and share them, because it's really easy to just talk about things that have happened to you and tell stories. Now, you can also do fiction stories. It doesn't have to be things that happen to you, but that's often what people find most approachable. Another style that you can get into is the technically intensive, and by that I mean you really use a lot of poetic techniques to make your lyrics stand out. So this would be things like really deep rhyme schemes, a lot of wordplay, a lot of alliteration, other things that are poetic techniques that are going to make your lyrics stand out. Now, a lot of times when people do this, they start saying stuff that isn't super clear or coherent or sensical, because to really mesh all these poetic techniques together, you don't always want a clear story arc, right? Sometimes it's easier to put a bunch of rhymes together in a way that doesn't quite make sense but still sounds really good if this is the style that you're into. So if this is something you want to try, really polish up on some of those technical aspects of writing lyrics, and you can start trying to write songs like that. Another style that you can try to get into is like party or pop type stuff, and in this style there's not a very big emphasis on the lyrics, but there is a huge emphasis on finding things that are catchy. So there's a lot of repetition, a lot of time spent making sure that the instrumental is something that really gets people going or that they can relate to easily, and then really focusing on your chorus to make sure that that part is memorable. The other thing is, with the lyrics being a little bit weaker, you might want to throw in a few clever lines, but not so heavy that the listener has to really think for a long time to get them, because if they don't understand it, then it's not going to really have that much impact. So that's another style that you can kind of look at or think about. Another style that you can use is comedy. Again, fairly straightforward. Comedy rap has been around forever. All you have to do here is focus on setting up some different punchlines, setting up some things that are going to be funny, or maybe a scenario that ends up being comical. There is actually a separate skill of being able to write comedy that you need to create comedic type rap. This style, you really need to work on your timing, just like you would for comedy, and then a lot of times it has lines that are written a little bit off or catch people off guard or are misleading, so that you can set up these comedy punchlines. Finally, we've got message-driven rap, which is kind of related to storytelling, or at least it can be, but it doesn't have to be in the form of a story. So maybe you have some really strong beliefs about the environment or something. You can write a song where the intent of the song is to get the message across that you're trying to tell people. So another thing that people call this sometimes is political, but it's basically rapping with the intent of sharing some sort of opinion or swaying some types of belief. It doesn't have to be that intense either. You could just be expressing your love for like ice cream or something, right? It could be something pretty low key, but you just have a message that you really want to get across, but it's not necessarily in the form of a story. You're just trying to express a specific idea about a topic. Hopefully that gives you a couple ideas for different blocks that you can start in when you start trying to write lyrics and style your music. Obviously, there's quite a bit of overlap between these different styles, but when you do that, you start getting into higher levels of skill. So this is for people still trying to figure out kind of what they want to do. These are some areas for you to explore and try out to see what style fits you best. There's also a ton of different ways that you could break this out. Actually, if you guys have ideas for different genres or subgenres or ways that you would construct the different types of rap, I would love to hear what you've got. But beyond that, that's all I've got for this video. So as always, if you have any questions, comments, topics you want me to cover, throw them down in the box below. I'll get to them as soon as I can. Beyond that, I've also got a full 30-day how to rap course. I'll give you a discount code in the description. And I've got a website, rapbetter.com, where you can check out some more resources. That's it, and I'll see you next time. Don't forget to subscribe so you can stay up to date on the videos. And if you have any questions, comments, or topics you want me to cover, leave them down in the box below and I'll get to them as soon as possible. See you next time.